Hello everyone, welcome back to Matty Reacts, the channel where we take a look at things we never watched or listened to before. And a few months ago now, I took a look at the teaser trailer for the new Superman. And there's now a full trailer, a 3-minute trailer, so we're going to take a look at that. Now, I will preface this by saying I've never been a huge Superman fan. In fact, there's not, I'm not really a DC fan, I'm more of a Marvel guy. I'll be quite upfront and honest about that. But I think the fact that they're trying to reboot the DC output into sort of an extended universe like Marvel have done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is a very interesting idea. They've seen that it can work. I wasn't a fan of how they ditched Henry Cavill, but we move. But I'm very interested to see, because I think really this is like their big start for that sort of DC extended universe. I don't know if officially this will be the first film, but it feels like the first big film, if not the first film, that's in that sort of series, that sort of universe. So I think it's important that they get it right. Now, I did like the teaser. I did like, was it Crypto the dog turned up? But I think they'll need to do a good story, but also they'll need to do the Marvel thing of setting up future films as well. I don't think we'll see that in this trailer. I don't think they'll give away setups for future films in a trailer. That'd be very silly. But I'm hoping we get some hints at a good story at least. Obviously, this is only a trailer. So it'll be a little bit shorter than my usual videos. But let's take a little look and see what we've got to look at. DC Studios.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
Okay, so she knows that he's Superman already in this.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Interesting.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for
I
what
know,
some
it's
might.
a lot of
It's
fire,
a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny?
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
Ooh, that's interesting.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
Very interesting. What is quite interesting about that interview scene is you can he's exuding this sort of cockiness. And even though he's not in his Superman suit, you can tell he's not in Clark Kent mode either, because obviously Clark Kent mode is sort of glasses on, bookish hair, sort of a little bit less forward with things. So he's very much in Superman mode, even though he's in his civilian clothes, if you like. Very interesting. Now, obviously, I mentioned that this is like the big kickoff of the DC Extended Universe, but is this an official sort of sequel to a different film that I haven't seen that was before the announcement of the Extended Universe? Because it kind of feels like they're referring to things that have already happened. Now, are these things we're going to see in the first half of this film, or are these things in a film that I've missed? It'd be very intriguing to know. Let me know.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
Nick Holt.
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States will
representing
cause
anybody
more
except for me.
problems around the world.
And doing good.
That was a cool scene. Let's have a look at that again. Look at
the
that
world.
building flying down
doing
like
good.
dominoes. Look at that. That's a really cool scene.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die.
People did die, I'm guessing.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
There he is. Good boy.
Your choices. your actions.
Oh, that's
what
cool.
makes you who you are.
July the 11th. That's not long at all, is it?
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it.
He's an it.
He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
I cleaned your boots. Oh, wow. We're getting some kaiju as well. Nice.
You have a dog?
Of course he has a dog. Of course he has a dog. Well, who wouldn't have a dog? That's right, me. Because my wife won't let me. Anyway, very interesting trailer. Yeah, it feels like I'm missing something. So that it feels like they're continuing it on from a previous Superman in terms of the story, just with a different actor, maybe. Let me know in the comments if what I'm missing out on, and I'll make sure to catch up on that before this film comes out, because I think I would like to see this film. It does look interesting to me. If no other reason, then I am a huge fan of anything Nicholas Hoult does. That's what happens when you're a fan of Skins, you see. You have to follow all of the people from the Skins cast and cheer them on. And a lot of them have done very good things, including Nick Hoult. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I think it's going to be a fun film. You can tell, obviously, James Gunn is behind it. He's come from Marvel, essentially. He did the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. And I think you can tell. I think it instantly feels more cinematic. It instantly feels more like they're trying to set up this bigger, wider universe. You know, just stuff like, you know, the Avengers, there was always this question of, is you protecting the city, is that a net positive when you take into account all of the damage that's done to the cities that you're protecting, you know? And it feels like this is taking that same route of, you know, yes, you may have stopped a war, but what about all of this damage you've done in the background that you've not even considered, you know? I think there's going to be, you know, he says, I was saving lives, but did everybody that was in those areas survive? Or did you actually just save different lives than the ones that ended up dying anyway? That could be a big moral quandary, I think. Yeah, very good. Thank you for dropping by, and I'll see you again for another reaction video very soon.